Peacefulness at last, the calm after the storm.
We are in the kid zone. I know everybody's a kid at heart, so just take a look around. This place opens at 5 p.m.
The most recent one here is just 3.1 miles west-northwest of Mooringsport, Louisiana. We have a new tornado warning here in effect for Bossier Parish, the northern portions of Bossier Parish, just to the north and west of Benton here. In terms of the actual temperatures, we may be hitting the triple digits by tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday before we even see a slight drop in these temperatures by the time we hit our Wednesday due to increased rain chances. If the air temperature is at around 97 degrees, which it is currently right now, the concrete looks to be at around 145 degrees. For the rainfall totals, we're already an inch above the normal for the month of July, mainly due to Tropical Storm Beryl making its way through the area just 1 week ago. Winds are pointing this way, and the red shows the winds that are pointing this way. So when they're really close to each other, that is what causes this area of rotation here. We are less than 10 hours away from the official start of the fall season. Lows could lower out in the 20s by next Monday, and we could expect highs to only reach possibly the upper 30s and lower 40s out there. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. Give you the first alert to our next weather maker here in the Cartledge. It looks to arrive early on Saturday morning, starting out with a few pop-up showers and storms before a line of showers and storms starts to develop off to our west and push through the region. This looks to last through the daytime hours and finally be out of the region just in time for the Independence Bowl. Actually, if you're going out for to watch the Independence Bowl, you look to be in luck in terms of the rain showers that will be present by then. Mostly will be out of the area by that time here. Severe weather is likely associated with this system, and we're expecting a slight cool down by the time we reach our Sunday. Mostly dry conditions, but mostly cloudy conditions in those skies are expected through the night tonight. But as you can see here, southerly flow looks to still be continuous through the night, which will allow a few pop-up showers and storms to arise from the south and west here, and this will continue through the morning hours. That is that line that we are watching for that could bring the highest risk for severe weather, but this can also bring some severe weather through the early morning hours here. So we definitely have to watch that very, very closely. This line will start to develop and become a more defined line of showers and storms that could turn severe as the afternoon progresses here. As you can see, some of those higher reflectivities denote the heavy rainfall and the damaging wind threat, as well as the large hail threat that is possible out of this system here. And by the time we reach around 7 o'clock, according to this model, which does a pretty good job on timing, we should be mostly clear from these showers and storms that are possible, but maybe some areas up to the extreme north and west could still be dealing with those rain showers from the wraparound part of the low pressure system, or at least the northern part. In terms of the severe risks, we are expecting a few strong tornadoes to be popping up here, but they are most likely down to the south and eastern corner of the region that is encompassed under that enhanced risk that I will show you in just a second. Large hail is also at an elevated risk. Heavy rain, not so much of a concern because of the pop-up showers that we'll be expecting here during the early morning hours, as well as the isolated severe threats associated with the system. Strong winds are also at a moderate risk. This is that enhanced risk that I'm talking about that has the higher risk for strong tornadoes to happen here. It could also happen in this yellow region, but not so much for this green region. It's on a lower end of the scale that it could happen, but the higher chance seems to be down to the extreme south and eastern portion of our region, and even more likely to the south and east outside of the Cartledge region here, which is definitely a good sign. We do not want to see many tornadoes, but there is a chance that it could happen in that brown region that you just saw. Rainfall potential through the next 7 days shows at least an inch for our south and eastern corner of the region here, maybe up to more than 2 inches here, as you can see. Maybe Shreveport and Bossier at around 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. Not so much for the areas north of the I-30 corridor. I'll be talking more to you about your 7-day forecast right after this. And here's a quick look at that First Alert 7-day forecast. The First Alert weather day has been put into effect for Saturday, December 28th, mainly due to the threat for strong to severe storms to enter the Cartledge here through the early morning hours, maybe around 6 to 7 a.m., and it could last all the way up until 5 to 6 p.m. in the afternoon. Once that leaves, we'll be under mostly dry conditions through the rest of the forecast period. Starting on Sunday, mostly dry conditions, even as we head towards the new year with highs in the 50s for the first couple of days of 2025. You may wonder where meteorologists gain the information to forecast different weather events that may come up in the future. Weather balloon launches are one way of obtaining this information. We're going to learn how they're set up as well as why they're so crucial to our forecasts. I recently visited the National Weather Service in Shreveport to witness the behind-the-scenes action on one of their 2 daily weather balloon launches. Observation Program Leader Aaron Stevens discussed how the launches typically take 20 to 30 minutes to set up and release. He also mentioned that they use hydrogen for the balloons. But how much exactly?
We try to fill it slower. We typically do it between like 10 to 12 psi. Nice and gentle. Make sure that we have static mats. Everything out here is grounded. Nobody wants a fire, an explosion. So.
Right. Once the balloon reaches between 10 to 12 psi, they attach a parachute to it for when it pops and falls to the ground, as well as a radio sonde to track different weather variables such as
wind speed, you get wind direction, you're getting pressures. It figures out humidity. It does the dew point. It does the temperature.
And then 1, 2, 3. It is released into the atmosphere to collect data, and we go back inside to track it. An interesting thing to note about the balloon is that it can rise higher than you think before it pops.
Somewhere between 33 to 39,000 meters, and that means it's somewhere in that 100 to 120,000 foot range.
As the balloon continues to rise, the collected data is being plotted on a skewed T diagram, which can tell us many things about the atmosphere currently. But how exactly is this current data being used for the future?
So it'll tell us the difference between risk for just thunderstorms with like wind or straight line winds. It'll tell us if we have more of a hail threat.
Okay.
This will tell us if we have more of a spin in the atmosphere for tornado threat. It'll also give us a lot of indicators on precip types.
If severe weather is on the way, this whole process is repeated a few more times than normal in order to gather more specific data for the storm ahead. In Shreveport, meteorologist CJ Cartledge, KSLA News 12.